when they're out there chanting death to America. So Tucker actually asked him about those chants, which I thought led to an interesting exchange. Let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
Americans are afraid of Iran, and they believe that Iran would like to strike the United States with a nuclear weapon. They see video of Iranians saying death to America, describing our country as the great Satan. What is your opinion of that? Should we be afraid of Iran?
I believe that this is a very wrong impression that anybody might have of Iran or the Iranians. I would like to remind you that Iran has never invaded another country in the last 200 years. When they say death to the United States, it doesn't mean death to, they don't mean death to the people of the United States or even to the officials of the United States. They mean death to crimes, death to killing and carnage, death to supporting killing others, death to insecurity and instability. Iranian killing an American, have you ever heard that? Or a terrorist that was Iranian and he carried out a terrorist attack against the Americans? No, it was your president who confessed that the Americans created the ISIS in our region, and they were responsible for this wrong image that is portrayed of religion or the Muslims in the world. This is not death to the American people or to the officials. Death to crimes and atrocities, to bullying, to the use of force, and anybody who would like to become an accomplice in the crimes perpetrated by others.
The president of Iran was asked to clarify what it actually means when the Iranians are chanting death to America. And he says it doesn't mean literally that we must wipe out Americans or we must kill Americans and all that. And so many people don't believe it, including this man called Patrick Bet-David.
Do you believe the president Iran's explanation of what death to America really means? It doesn't really mean what you think it means, right? It doesn't. It has a complete different meaning when they say death to America. It's more poetic. It's more loving. It's endearing.
Yeah.
It's coming from a place of gamesmanship. We're just kind of flirting with each other. You know how you talk dirty and you say, babe, I'm going to do this to you tonight.
Yep.
You're not really going to go destroy her. Yeah. You're just going to have some fun. So the way Iranians talk dirty to Americans, like, listen, man, death upon America,
Yeah.
That's the way they do it. You know what I'm saying?
It's
coming from a very nice, dirty,
He doesn't believe it. He says it's all bullshit, it's this and that. But sometimes I kind of buy that story. Why? Because in Africa, 54 countries in Africa have fought the liberation struggle against colonization. And during this liberation struggle, for the soldiers and those who were fighting, they had songs and they had chants against the colonizers, the British, the Germans, and whatsoever. And those chants were definitely calling for the killing of those people, of the colonizers. Definitely. They were saying in our vernacular languages or in our local languages that obviously you probably wouldn't recognize or understand. But let me tell you one thing. To this day, those songs still exist. We still sing those very songs. Whenever we have meetings or gatherings or independent ceremonies where we celebrate our heroes who died in those liberation struggles, we still sing exactly those songs, the very same songs. But obviously today they don't literally mean the same thing. I mean, we're no longer calling for the killing of the British, but back then, yes, they were calling for the killing of the British, and it was clear. But we still sing them today. The British probably won't hear it, but unfortunately, and actually, some white Zimbabweans do hear Shona. They understand the language, but nobody have ever complained or worried that these people are singing those songs of the liberation struggle, calling for our killing. Because literally there was a song which says, "Which house leaves a white man so that we can destroy it?" It's clear. It's it's clear as day. And to this day, because it's songs that brings us together, it's songs that reminds us of our past, it's songs that, but nobody means that we are really looking for a house where white people stay so that we can kill them. It doesn't mean that, and it's not happening, but those songs are going to exist forever. I can tell you, for as long as our history exists, those songs are going to exist. So sometimes, yes, I do understand when he says it. Come on, it doesn't mean exactly that we literally mean that we're gonna wipe out everybody. I do believe him, because in some instances we experience the same. The problem is, you as Americans, or you as British, or you as Europeans, you've never experienced what we have experienced. So that's why you don't understand what we have had to go through, and part of our culture, part of our story, how we tell our story, how we keep our history, how we celebrate our history. You don't understand that, because it serves a purpose of justifying something, for justifying the actions that the Americans would want to take against Iran. This can be used and be like, yeah, look at them, they're chanting death to us, so we must bomb them first, then carry out the attacks. But in all honesty, those songs don't really mean what they mean. And as we exist on this planet, over and over again, you shall see, we will all have a conversation, and we'll come to an agreement that actually those chants don't really mean much. I've seen people who actually go on and interview Iranians. The videos are there on YouTube, but people tend to choose to ignore it. When people are being asked, do you hate Americans? Do you hate Americans? The average person on the street don't fucking hate Americans, as the Americans would want to portray it and be like, yo, look at them. Look, America attacked Iran, and Iran said they were going to retaliate, because of course, that's a chance for Iranians to prove that they hate Americans. But they didn't do that. And there was no terrorist attacks that were claimed that they are terrorists somewhere that's going to show up and blow themselves up. That didn't happen. And also, even if when they wanted to attack the American bases, they even warned them in advance, because showing that they're not really interested in creating chaos and creating havoc, as it is portrayed to justify certain actions, that, oh yeah, look at them, they're demonic, they're crazy, they hate us. That is just propaganda, to be honest.